Hello my viewers and welcome back to my channel. Do you remember the video I posted of my fellow black people reacting to the issue of supporting Palestine? Well, if you didn't watch that video, then feel free to check for it on this very channel. Some people might be wondering why I am bringing that video again. Well, it is because of one stitch in that video that has gone viral and is making a lot of people stitch or react to the video. Now, a sister in the same video bringing a lot of talk on social media had this to say in the video. Let's check it out.
Melanated dominant people, sons and daughters of my ancient mother, I have been inundated with Muslims in my inbox threatening me, saying I'm spreading hate, black people, telling me how dare I not stand against Palestine. So I tried to stay out of it, but I'm not going to be able to. So I'm in it, okay? Never intended for what happened to me at the store to go like it did, but it did, okay? So let's just have a real talk, okay? I'm going to add the articles in the link because they are important for you to understand. So there is a neighborhood in Gaza, on the Gaza Strip, where 11,000 Afro-Palestinians live. It is called Al Abib. You know what that means? Slave. Yes, that is where black people live, and that is what the Arabics call that neighborhood, slaves, the land of the slaves. I'm going to drop the articles so you can hear from Afro-Palestinians how they're treated in Palestine. It is very similar to how we're treated right here in America, okay? You're going to hear stories of Afro-Palestinians being pulled out of taxi cab and searched because they were black. You're going to hear stories of Afro-Palestinians telling you how when black Palestinian women walk down the street, they call them out their name, okay, by their skin color. Chocolate, cappuccino, hey cappuccino, hey chocolate, hey black. But the neighborhood, if that doesn't reach you, melanated dominant people, can you imagine 11,000 black Palestinians looking just like you being humiliated in their home, in their land, in their compound, while the Arabs and Muslims are being oppressed? They still had time to oppress black people there in Gaza. So I do not condone the loss of life on any side. So I can't stand with anyone, okay? What I am standing with is that it's none of my business. But if it was my business, then it would be toward the melanated dominant people that suffer racism on both sides. Did you know that Israel was giving Ethiopian women Depo-Provera shots because they didn't want them coming into Israel and having children? They were sterilizing black women. Afro-Palestinians living in a neighborhood called Al Abib. Slave. Can you imagine little black kids going home saying, oh yeah, you stay in the neighborhood of the slaves? Come on, melanated dominant people. I know we can do better than this. It take 5 minutes of research before you go and run and say we stand with Palestinians or we stand with Israel. I stand with people that do not already hurt people, my people, melanated dominant people It's amazing to me how we're so easily roped into somebody else's fight. But we don't open up closet doors and start looking at who we run into they fight. I pray every day for war to never be a part of our life here on this planet. But what I'm not gonna do is stand with Palestine, while Palestine has a neighborhood with 11,000 blacks called Al-Abib, slave. And I'm gonna drop the articles, read them, study, and then make a decision. And whatever decision you make, I'm all right with that. I love y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Now, the reason why people are stitching her video is because she is talking about how similar Afro-Palestinians are treated there to how the majority of the black community are treated in America and just around the world when it comes to articism. But at the same time, she is saying that she can't support Palestine. She's not going to support Palestine. So the question now is, if she is preaching about articism there, then why can't she support the same people she is feeling bad for being treated unfairly, because that part of Gaza is also affected? Anyway, let's check out the stitches, and when I get back, we talk more about this issue and I share my own thoughts about this video.
I find it interesting that people like her come to the party extremely late with the little bit of pseudo facts that they think they have, and all of a sudden want to dominate a conversation, but twist it to suit their agenda, their platform, and their narrative. You said you didn't want to get into it and should have stayed out. Quite frankly, you should have. You don't know what in the hell you're talking about. In fact, I did check out the links you put up, and I think you need to understand there's a strong distinction between Israel and Palestine. In Israel, prejudice, oppression. They're called the N-word. They're called cushy people. They're called all kinds of things. In Gaza, yes, there's some slander, of course. I don't think any human being on the face of the earth is void of ignorance or arrogance, as you yourself are full of it. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're monolithing all Palestinians or all people in Gaza as saying that they're all categorically view their dark-skinned counterparts in the same manner or light, just like in America. I, for one, don't view your view. You, for one, will look at me and feel that you are superior to me because I'm not a melanated god. But that's okay. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. The problem is when your opinion is inflammatory, xenophobic, and based on rhetoric in order to incite a perception of a people explicitly on the propaganda that's spewing out of your crayon-colored eyeballs. The problem that you have is that you showed up to the party late with no facts, and then you put in a link, and you yourself are not only arrogant to the issue, but ignorant. So it's not El Abib, the word is El Abid. Now, El Abid doesn't mean the slave. It could mean the slave, depending on the context. But if you ask any Muslim, we're all Abid. It means servant. We're all Abid. We're all Abidullah. That's literally comes from Islam. That's number one. Number two, you refer to them as Afro-Palestinians. They don't refer to themselves as Afro-Palestinians. You then say they're in their original homeland. Well, if they're in their original homeland, why do you refer to them as Afro-Palestinians? They would just be Palestinians. So not only are you explicitly showing your bias and prejudice and your bigotry, but you're explicitly showing the propaganda and narrative you're spewing. I went through your content. I noticed you had nothing on there about Palestine. Zero. Until this issue arose. Which means that not only are you arrogant and ignorant to the issue or the people that live there, but you took the time to hijack a current ongoing ethnic cleansing and genocide to explicitly boost your platform and views. I'll do you one better. I suggest you take your own advice, stay the hell out of it. Because if you're not going to be part of the solution, then you're part of the problem. Because the only thing I heard you do is lay out a whole bunch of problems on the table, but you didn't leave any solutions. Nothing. That's like me going through the South, or up north in Maine, seeing racism and going, hey, they're racist here. Bye. What did you accomplish? What did you accomplish? What did you leave on the table for people to walk away with and go, not only did I learn about the problem, but gosh golly, this person gave me some great alternatives to work on some solutions. Not only did they give me a message that was harsh and bitterly true, but they also gave me a solution and a way to look at something in a more prolific, valued way. You didn't do any of that. All you did was what we hear white supremacists do. See, you can still be a supremacist, and it doesn't matter the color of your skin, because that's what Palestinians are dealing with now. Both white and black. They're dealing with Zionism, supremacist ideology, and your ideology is no different. So do me a favor. If you're not going to say free Palestine, just keep your mouth shut.
Melanated dominant people, sons and daughters of my ancient.
It's people like you that are dangerous. Because I guarantee you live in America. If you're so concerned about being someplace where there were slaves, why don't you go back to fucking Africa? Yeah, I said it as a melanated motherfucking person. You know how stupid you sound? Oh, because the Arabs at some point had slaves, because there's still racism in the United States and you're still fucking here. I guarantee you shop or you work for somebody or somewhere down the line, anything in your life intersects with someone that had slaves. You know how dumb that fucking sounds? Oh, yes, there's places, like there's places in the fucking United States. It's called ghettos, you know, where the black people are all pushed. Yeah. What are you doing to help them? You tell me what you're doing to help them. You show me what the fuck you're doing to help them. Okay, nothing. Running your fucking mouths. Yes, we are fucking aware of all that shit, but at the end of the day, we're fucking human. We have hearts. You know, the shit that's like right here? We care. And just because we're black, just because we're a product of fucking slavery does not mean we should care any fucking less. And it's people like you who spread this fucking narrative that, oh, just because such and such. No, because I guarantee you're the same bitch that's out there buying shit. Show me what you support. Show me the shit that's in your household. Because if it's owned by the Vanguard, if it's owned by BlackRock, you're a part of it. You're a part of it. So let's not play this fucking game. Please don't.
Palestine.
So you're telling me that you wanted to come on the internet and try to raise awareness about racism that Afro-Palestinians face, but at the same time, you're telling black people to turn a blind eye to the genocide that's happening because nobody cares about black people. So can you tell me what's the point of you sharing that if you don't care about Afro-Palestinians and you're okay with them getting wiped off the face of the earth because they're Palestinian and not because they're black? Can you explain that to me? Because what was the point? Like, to me, it looks like you just finally learned about world geography and you were like, oh my God, other countries around the world face racism too. Like, there's racism happening to other black communities around the world. Like who didn't know that? Like, there's racism that's happening to every single country around the world. There's not a single country that's free of racism. There's not a single country that does not have racism deeply ingrained in how the society thinks. And you know why? You know why? Because of imperialism, because of colonialism, because of the slave trade, and because of powers like Israel that are causing these type of massacres to happen to communities that are minorities. Like, the way that you're speaking, the way that you're talking is so evil-spirited. It's so hypocritical, and I'm sorry, it's hypocritical. At the end of the day, black people are a oppressed group. That's facts. But you're gonna turn the same blindness that other, you know what I'm talking about, palm-colored people have turned to black people, have turned to all other colors and races and cultures and religions that they have oppressed throughout history. Because also, like, why is it our business, right? It's crazy because let me tell you why it's your business. Your tax dollars are going into funding this genocide, to funding free healthcare, free education, and all these other amenities that Americans don't even get to taste, okay, for Israel, come on. Not to mention how healthcare, education, housing, and other financial needs that people need in America, specifically black people who have been set backwards because of the effects of slavery and need these things, and their social barriers to health, to success, to freedom, and all aspects that are not, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, girl, that was not the time or the place. People are literally fighting for their lives against propaganda on media, literally fighting for their lives for people to get food, water, resources, medicine, while we're watching them die on the internet every single day. And you're gonna be like, oh my god, guys, by the way, like, there's racism happening there. Or there's racism that's been happening there. I'm sorry, like, you know dang well right now that's what, with what's happening, they're not thinking about racism. It is so ignorant, it is so hypocritical, it is so egotistical to be thinking like this when at the end of the day, imagine let's say all minorities around the world turn a blind eye to each other. All of them don't care. All of them are like, you fight your struggle, I'm gonna fight mine, I'm gonna fight mine, I'm gonna fight mine, I'm gonna fight mine. Who is everybody collectively fighting against? Let's think about that. Think about that. Put that together. Who's everybody fighting against? But no, it's like, go fight your own battle, I'm gonna find mine. Well, I'm sorry, your battle, the person who's in charge of your battle, the person that's being the oppressor in your battle is also the oppressor in their battle. So, like, I need black people to collectively do research on the interconnectedness between Palestinian struggle, the black struggle, point blank period. Like, you guys, there's black civil rights movement leaders, such as Malcolm X, who have time and time again, even though he was fighting for black rights, and you guys know that, was also in solidarity with Palestine constantly. Like, come on. If you want the easy way out and just don't care about humanity, because I don't think that's something that can be taught, then just say that.
Palestinians live.
So the black Afro Gazans that live on the Gaza Strip, I'm sure they were forced to stay there from Israel because, you know, Israel controls the Gaza Strip. And look at what it says here. White people try not to walk next to me. It doesn't say Arabs. It says white people. So exactly why would you be prejudiced, bigoted towards Arabs when it is the Euro Jews, the Israelis who are being prejudiced towards the Afro Gazans?
Stand against Palestine.
Knowing and witnessing thousands of babies being murdered, slaughtered, a genocide happening, seeing the pictures and thinking, do these people support black lives? Wow, they have black Palestinians to discriminate against. Do you know how sick and self-centered you have to be? How egotistic? Oh, I heard they had black Palestinians that they don't treat right, therefore I don't want to support this cause. Can you imagine? One, the term that you're referring to is a derogatory term. That's not what they're called. If you've ever interacted with a black Palestinian, they will tell you that the racism they go through today, up to 70% plus, is perpetrated by Israelis. Of course, you have your insults here and there, like anywhere else, and the stereotypes and whatever, but it's not within the community. They're fine there. They are also going through colonial oppression. They are also going through a slaughter, a genocide. Instead of seeing 1,000 black Palestinians are in Gaza and wow, we should support this cause and liberate our brothers and sisters, you're thinking 1,000 black Palestinians are there because they were slaves and therefore I shouldn't support this cause in which we are witnessing thousands of children being murdered. I wonder what Malcolm would say. I hate this closed-minded lens, American way of seeing international theory, international geopolitics. It's the most ridiculous thing. Post-slavery in America, when they tried to do the Back to Africa movement, where they thought a lot of Africans wanted to go back to Africa, which failed, and only a handful did go. The handful that arrived to Sierra Leone and Liberia, you know what they did in Liberia? They enslaved Native Africans. They literally enslaved Native Africans. That's why if you go to Liberia today, you have Liberians and Liberian Americans. They have a tie. They're kind of like a colony if you think about it. When 9/11 happened and they were looking for drafting men, they also tried to draft Liberian soldiers, but the government at that time in Liberia was like, no, we got other shit to handle. And then he ended up getting killed by Charles Taylor, which was an American. So because of that, should I ignore black American issues? Should I keep on, it's hard for me to take you guys serious. Always, what about me, victim mindset? It's so crazy how you can get so cold and ignorant and therefore closed off from an actual genocide happening because you're like, oh, they had slaves. Nigga, y'all had slaves too in Africa. You guys went back to Africa and did to Native Africans what white Americans did to you guys. So why should we have a relationship with you guys? Why should we keep on building together? Why should any African support Black American causes? That's basically what you're going to. It is so sick, so unchristian. Then you guys will look with your head up and say, I am Pan-African. If you know anything about Pan-Africanism, you would know that they would stand on Palestine and on what's happening to Palestine. It's a shame.
Palestinians are racist to Black people. And if you look around, it's Black people that are out there advocating.
You know what? Y'all be messing up doggone reparations. All y'all be messing it up. How y'all doing this morning? I hope y'all doing okay. Let me explain to you why. Because they know we're not sticking together. They know we're not on one accord on anything. As long as we got people like Candace Owens and what's the dude? Clarence Thomas and all the rest of them, even though Amaro said a while. As long as we got people like that fight against us, that's the people they look at first. They look at them first and it's like, oh, y'all need to be more like them. Okay? And anybody they think that's going to be for us, they're going to totally go against them, and they're going to put everything in the media to make you go against them. And you won't do no research. Because, I'm looking at all these false, half-truth ads about Obama forced at his last day of office, he sent $212 million to the Palestinians. Half-truth. I'm here to tell y'all the truth. You know what I'm saying? Because people doing the half-truths make you angry at folks for no reason whatsoever, because you ain't going to do no research. That's a half-truth. Only at that time, that was money already set aside to go there. That was humanitarian money already set aside to go there. Ain't got nothing to do with money out your pocket. Nothing. Ain't nothing come out your pocket. So, I'm going to clear this up for you. That money was already assigned to go there by Congress. There were 2 congressmen that opposed it. One of Texas, of course. Because they want all their money to go to Israel. See, when Trump gave $717 billion to Israel, they didn't oppose it. Did nobody say nay? They just let him give them $717 billion. Y'all know about that, huh? And 38 billion of it was just for weapons for Israel. Ain't nobody even talking about that. Ain't nobody blinking an eye about that. But you're having a fit over a proposed 100 million to keep us safe. See, y'all don't realize. Y'all watch from afar on television, on video, all these wars and things being torn up and things being done. You even had soldiers come back and testify how their sergeant made them unalive people that was just going out for water for their family. They didn't even make y'all blink an eye. Show you how cold y'all is, okay? And how distant y'all are from other people. That's why when you watch American news, what they say, 5 Americans were unalived on the plane. They don't never talk about the 127 other people that were from other countries. That's to desensitize you, to make you only think about if the name says American. That's what that's for. And a lot of y'all fall for the okie doke. And I really want y'all to really go listen to this speech and listen at what the man says. He said the one looked like him. See, he did a speech on Trayvon Martin. Okay? Trayvon Martin. And you see how Fox News covered that for days against him, saying he could have been my son. And in this same speech, he said they could have been his children. He was talking about the Palestinians that look like us. He wasn't talking about those Palestinians. He was talking about the ones that look like us. Because he said the ones that look like him could have been my sons that I was talking to. See, y'all don't pay attention. That's why things be happening to you, because you don't pay attention. That's why you're so mad, because you don't pay attention. Even Jimmy Carter said that over there the way they treat those people is worse than apartheid. And it's the palm-colored people that's doing it. Just because they call themselves Palestinians, just because they call themselves Israelites, just because Israel people, just because they call themselves Hamas, I don't even know what that is. But if they look like this, those are the ones treating our people the same as they did here. I want you guys, my followers, I don't care about you trolls on my page, my followers, to go and actually listen to this speech. Every single word of that speech was about us here in America and what they've done to us. But you know, he couldn't talk about us in front of them. He's intelligent. He got that much sense. He wasn't just talking about the Palestinians. He was talking about us and what they did to us here. Okay? Y'all didn't catch that. A lot of y'all was like, oh, they doing that to us here. What is he talking about? The man's smart, unlike you who said that. Yes, he was talking about us. He was really comparing the Palestine people of color to what we go through here. But he couldn't get up on the stage and say that. You see, with him just talking about Trayvon Martin, what happened? Y'all need to wake up. See, the media will make us fight against us. You know, and then they'll come in with the comments, he ain't do nothing for black people. He ain't do nothing. What are you supposed to do for us? He put every single plan out there for us to get ahead. And if you did not take advantage of the plans that he had during the time he was in office for 8 years, that's your fault. The books was open. That's your fault. I got mine. And told everybody that I knew about how I got mine. It's up to them to do the work. People don't want to do no work. People actually want COVID to happen again so they can sit on their behinds and get a check. That's the truth. If you ever listen to them question Trump supporters, I got to check when he was in office. But you got to check on the back of people that passed away. And you got people that are so uneducated, they don't believe it. I don't care if it was a flu again. You can call it whatever you want to call it. You don't have to call it COVID. You can call it whatever. It was a flu. It was a bad influenza, okay? And people were out of here. I was on a thing the other day and they talking about didn't know doctor worker. Why would you sit there with a presidential candidate that you say is a presidential candidate and say that no one in the hospital passed away? 36,000 hospital workers were unalived by this flu, this bad flu, as y'all call it. 36,000 hospital workers. But this president, this young man that's supposed to be running for, I think 38 years old, supposed to be running for president, don't even know that and couldn't even correct the people in his thing. But I'm just angry about that because I think if you run it, I want to put out all the support I can and posters and everything to support you. But you don't even run on truth. And then you curse and well, I know David Banner cursed too, but he put it in perspective, not just because he talking. Okay, he do curse in perspective. I gotta take up David Banner. I'd be David Banner run for president. I know he don't want to, but I really wish he would. Because he has knowledge. He has knowledge of the world. He has knowledge of things that happen. He has intelligence. He done read a book. So I'm just mad at us believing half truths, and we really won't do any research on our own. We will allow people to come into our minds and make us hate somebody. That's just like I've been through this so many times. I'm writing a book about this. Like, yeah. I'm gonna go pit against pit. You can have a person that's your friend. Your friend will tell you something and make you mad at somebody else that they know. So don't tell them I told you this, but they said this about you. And then they go right back to that person and say, don't tell her, you know, she my friend, but I'm going to tell you, you know what I'm saying? Because she my friend, but I'm going to tell you this what she said about you. And then got you two fighting each other, mad at each other, and you don't even know why. Because she done lied to both of y'all. to keep y'all fighting, to keep y'all at each other, so she can keep that friendship on that side and that friendship on that side. And watch y'all fight, because they get a kick out of it. Devils get a kick out of watching people fight. That's why they have wars.
I have been inundated.
You might be able to bully the other smaller content creators, but I'm not one of them, and I will not back down from you. Let me make that very clear. Again, what is going on with the people in Hase, in Alabid, has nothing to do with you. It never has. The narcissism that spews from just your image alone, and you thinking that the hue of your skin makes you a god when you are a mere mortal like the rest of us. And then the audacity for you to be offended at the name of a city that people named in faith to their god. Al-Habid means servant. We're all servants to our gods. They're servants to Allah. We're servants to Jesus Christ and the Holy Father. I don't see anything wrong with the name, but because you heard the word servant, you automatically jumped into the history of slavery, which is cool. Congrats on being somewhat educated on what you want to be educated on. But let me give you a history lesson. You know, the man that started slavery was a man that looked just like you on the continent of Africa. He sold. He didn't let Christopher Columbus in. He sold those people to Christopher Columbus, and in turn made those people his property, which granted Christopher Columbus the power that it gave him. It is not okay. But what happened then was 400 years ago. We're watching in our lifetime right now a mass genocide to the people of Hase, to the Palestinians, to the people of Alabid, who look like you, but they don't refer to themselves as Afro-Palestinians. They refer to themselves as Palestinians. Only Americans make things about race because of their skin color. Nobody wakes up and wants to be oppressed. You know who's oppressed? The people of Hase, who are living in the world's largest open prison. There are men carrying their children's body parts in plastic bags. People have no resources. There's no drinkable water. There's no food being given to them. Their borders are closed off. So there's no aid being allowed. And these people are just waiting to take their last breath because they know they're not going to make it out. And you're okay with that because they don't look like you. But in 2020, when everybody marched for that cause, and myself included, which I will post pictures of in a couple of seconds, but when that cause was being prompted, before everybody realized that they were being hoodwinked by a person who looked, again, just like you, who profited off the misery and the pain of a vulnerable community at a vulnerable time, and bought a mansion so that she can party in it with her friends. Didn't care. She did to you what the man in Africa did to people who look like you. Your beef is not with me, sweetheart. Your beef should be with that founder. Your beef should be with the man who 400 plus years ago sold people who look like you. Your beef shouldn't be with me. But because you're a bigger content creator, you're going to try to use your platform to silence me, to intimidate me, to cry woe is me, and I'm okay with that. I will continue to post because you're not going to silence me. If you're too good to be silenced and you want to be referred to as a god while being a mere mortal, then I'm going to treat you like a mere mortal unless you bow to me and treat me like a god the way that you want me to treat you like a god. Which, by the way, isn't happening because I'm not bowing down to nobody. Ever. Like in life at all. You got it twisted. All the way twisted. The narcissism in you is real. This whole victim syndrome is real. I. That's all you can talk about is you. And lady, quite frankly, I don't want to hear it at all. Because it's crazy that you're doing this. Promoting segregation. If you're a goddess, why are you not promoting love? If you're a goddess, why are you not providing shelter, food, and resources to these people? Clothing, anything? And if you're a goddess, why did you take to social media platforms to promote hate and segregation instead of promoting peace and love and justice for the innocent people of Hasse, for the innocent people of Palestine, for the innocent people of Alabid? Repeat it with me, because it's not Alabib, it's Alabid. Then people that you're referring to as Afro-Palestinian are just Palestinian people who want to live. Just like people like me and you want to live freely here. Except you and I are completely different. You play the victim. I get on the war fields and fight. I was up in the trenches. I was up in them Black Lives Matter movement marches. I couldn't do anything about slavery because I wasn't born 400 years ago. But I can do something now about the people in Palestine and promoting the ceasefire and donating. I'm not gonna just stay out of it. I'm gonna do what I can. Maybe you should just follow your words and stay out of it. Your entire video was unnecessary. And it was based off of facts that are baseless. You posted links that are junk. Read a book. And again, if you want to go back to the history of slavery, sweetheart, it was a man that looked like you, who sold people for a profit that looked like you to Christopher Columbus. The Europeans were invited to Africa to purchase those people. Take that beef with them. I'm not one of those people. I'm not gonna get on here and promote segregation, and I'm damn sure I'm not gonna sit here and promote a genocide. Not at all. Again, you can try to silence me all you want because my rhetoric don't fit your narrative, and the rhetoric that you're trying to spew out is again somehow making you a victim. Continue to report me. I'm going to continue to post all night.
Wow, those were just a lot of different views from people. So many people are disappointed that she actually said that, and her saying that she's not going to be a part of it and then commenting about it just made her a part of it. I don't know if it's just me, but I think, yeah, she became part of it when she commented on something that she said she never wanted to be a part of. Now, in as much as people are having different views on what is happening in Gaza, the progression is slow and people need to come together to make that change. Now, it is time to get out of the loop of non-progressive actions, and this can only be done if influencers like her spread positive information that can help change the situation instead of finger pointing who did what to who. I think this is the time to come together and speak against the wrong things happening in the Gaza Strip. By supporting Palestine, this means that people are standing up for the right thing, and this will also help the same Afro-Palestinians she is talking about. Now, because this then, because like this, then what's the point of pointing that out if you are going to say that you are not going to, you are going to stay out of it and not support the people of your own race? Now, this is not just about Afro-Palestines, but what is happening in general. What is happening in Palestine in general. Let people stop justifying the evil happening in Gaza and them being okay with the unalivings of millions of people is just crazy. You know, just like the stitches, some people also had a lot to say in the comments, and I'm just going to share a few of some people's reactions. Now, this one says, what's this new BS to justify unalivings? People don't even care what they're saying. Few of some people's reactions. Now, this one says, what's this new BS to justify unalivings? People don't even care what they're saying anymore. The fact that she tried to make it about her and tried to make a personal attack on her is crazy. They don't realize if we come together, other races will go crazy. This one says, Palestine is a nation of children. How could you not give considerable focus to what's happening there? What is happening in Gaza is a humanitarian crisis. Those people don't have access to water, and the hospitals everyone need are being destroyed. Now, this one says, this is so crazy to say. Palestinians have stood with black people for long. Now, just like the video where this sister's video was used as a stitch, the same is happening here. Like, there are debates from different people who are agreeing and some are still disagreeing on this issue. Now, her saying she won't support Palestinians knowing that there are 11,000 black Palestinians is just mind-blowing, because they are going to suffer. Like, does she understand that the black Palestinians are not exempted from the unalivings? Like, people have to stand up for what's right, and that's humanity. Now, the whole strip of Gaza are literally fighting for their right to live a life, and now is the time they need support from people. We have come to the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to share your comments on this as well. If you're new here, then don't forget to subscribe and like. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Peace.